Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, where we discuss the latest cryptocurrency news and talk to founders of upcoming projects that are hitting the Web3 space. Today, I am joined by an upcoming gaming project, Drift, the founders of Drift. Please say hello to our community. Really excited to bring this one to you guys. We're going to have a great chat, but first I would like to introduce Josh. Josh, the CEO of Drift. Please, if you could say hello to the community and let them know a little bit more about Drift and what you guys have got going on.
Awesome. Thanks for the intro. I appreciate that, Ross. So I'm Josh Chan. I'm the CEO here at Drift. So a little bit about my background really quick. My leadership experience comes from here in the United States. The last decade I've been in the military. I went to West Point, where I commissioned from as an officer. That's the primary leadership academy here in the United States. So that gives you a little bit of my background on leading organizations. I've led organizations from 30 to a couple hundred. When I was in the service in 2021, I transitioned out into Web3 full time. I started working projects in 2020 as marketing and just kind of getting my feet wet when I'm sure everybody was getting into decentralized here, or a lot of you were. So then I moved up eventually into operations roles, started developing some of my own stuff. And now I work full time for a startup energy crypto intersection project where I work with Paul and Mike right now. So that's a little bit about my background. Just really quick overview. Actually, I'll pass it off to Mike and Paul for the intros, and I'll do a quick overview of the project. That's good.
Amazing. Thank you for the introduction. And we will go straight over to Michael. Michael, please say hello to the community and give us a little bit more information about your background within Web3. I know you've got some amazing credentials, but yes, say hello to our community.
Hello, everybody. So I'm Michael Tabone. I am the CFO for Drift Studios. I'm also in charge of a little bit of strategy here. I got my PhD in business, specifically on decentralized autonomous organizations and their practical use cases. I teach at the University of the Cumberlands in a blockchain graduate program. It's called Global Business and Blockchain. So I actually teach blockchain and everything else to the next generation of professionals that are going to come into this space. I'm also the deputy director of research for Cointelegraph. Wow. I write, research, and do all this stuff, and talk everywhere and everything else. So I constantly meeting with founders, just like you guys are presenting here today. So it's really cool to actually be part of a team this time. Like Josh said, we had met on a different project that we had worked on. That we're working on. That's a cool project, great project. More like a Web 2.1 project than it is a Web 3 project, which got us talking, and then that's why we're all here having fun. We started this whole entire little venture. So there's a lot more. I don't know. I advise something like 20 different projects as well, but that's all fun and games. There's more. Paul, would you like to go next?
Thanks, Doctor. Yeah, I'm heading up the marketing efforts here at Drift. I've been in Web3 for about 5 years, or going on 6 actually. First couple in journalism, and then I pivoted back to marketing, which is kind of my natural habitat. Most of my experience in terms of Web3 marketing has been in GameFi and NFTs and the metaverse space. So the opportunity to join these two gentlemen, as well as our head designer, Sophie, in a brand new Web3 project in 2024 in GameFi was a little bit too good to pass up. So I jumped in, and I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the introduction, guys. Super excited to have you guys on as well. I know how busy you've been. Last few weeks have been absolutely crazy. We'll get it all into that as well. But first off, I think, I'll ask a question for the community here. So what are the key features of the Drift token, and how does it stand out in the current pre-sale? Who would like to take that question?
Yeah, I think I usually take the start on these, and then Mike and Paul fill in the gap. So, so key features right now. I mean, I think one of the big things, especially when you look at GameFi, is that we're a studio token. So what, and we have a ready to play beta product. So you can go out and see what we're offering right now at play.prpursuit.com. So those are two of the big things up front. So I'll go into why the studio token is, we believe, important as a little background, we've been working on this project over 9 months. Well, actually, it's probably close to a year, but we've all been as a team. Yeah, we've all been on a team. We all have been as a team about 9 months working on it. So the game development was a little bit beforehand. So that's a little bit of what's gone into it. So a lot of that has been branding, strategy, looking at what's been successful in GameFi, looking at how we want to structure the pre-sale, looking at how we wanted to structure distribution, looking at what's worked, what hasn't. So a lot of that has gone into that. That's why we arrived at Studio Token is a good mechanism, because a lot of the failures in GameFi we've seen recently are related to sell pressure from having an in-game token, something that's redeemed only by value, or the value is inherent in the product. So we that's one of the big things we wanted to avoid. We did come up with the ecosystem that still benefits. So if the token volume benefits the game as far as payouts for the events, and then the events from the game can drive additional liquidity back to the token. So that's how we kept that relationship there. But we were able to separate it, and on the game, the events are they're cross chain. So right now we have Ethereum, Polygon, and Binance. And BNB. So those are where we're starting out. But we're going to add more EVMs as we go. So the idea there is you come on and you play in your native, with native being Ethereum or BNB or Matic, and then the idea is eventually we may add alternate like stables on those chains, but the idea there is to not allow, because that's a very easy thing to do once you have the main currency there. But the thing is there to not allow sell pressure from the redemption of the prize. So you play in BNB, you win in BNB, even though all the different you may have the majority, or you may have 30% participants on ETH network. It's all your winnings, your percentage of winnings come out in your native chain. You can redeem them. So that's kind of the big idea there. Like you come in, you play in native, and then you get your prize in native. And I think it's one of the more attractive features we have. That's one of the things we've seen. And also, as we open up and we expand to smaller chains and potentially smaller communities, because that's what we want to do. We want to get basically the biggest adoption we can across whatever communities. It's about adoption for the game. That's how you succeed with the product. You get adoption and usership. You can have potentially the opportunity for smaller chains to get volume, recognition, and be able to participate in communities such as yours and other communities based on projects or whatnot can come participate together. And that's the mentality we want. We're very Web3 oriented in that way. We believe the success of the project is going to come from participation. That's why we've been deliberate about some of the steps we took. What we're doing for marketing. We started very grassroots. For our pre-sale, we've raised, I think we're at 820,000 or something today. Right now, it's live. We've raised that to date.
Wow.
All of that's come from, we spent very little on marketing. It's all been grassroots and word of mouth and partnering with good communities. And, we're going to continue that. We're getting to the phase where we will be expanding a little more to the GameFi market, and that costs a little bit of money. So we will be spending a little more there. We're exploring right now which central exchanges we want to list on. So that's the point we got where we will start to spend a little bit more of the funds. But we've gotten this far virtually on a very thin budget on purpose, because we didn't want to. We want to use our money efficiently, and we wanted to get the product we're at, I think, 1,000 holders. We want to get the project as far as we could, with a very grassroots mentality. Now we're at the stage where we will start, spending more, marketing more, expanding. Obviously, we're here talking to you, a great audience here, a great community. We're talking to several projects. We're exploring a lot of partnerships. Something super exciting for us is we'll be speaking at Harvard on a panel at the blockchain conference coming up in April. So Dr. DeBone will be there. I'll be there. Dr. DeBone will be speaking. We're going to let our best foot forward there, but I'll definitely be there. Best foot forward as far as credentials, and coming from a doctorate means more than coming from a CEO. So we'll be there. We'll be there speaking. Super exciting. It's rare for a project at this stage to have the opportunity. I think Yuga Labs CEO is heading that. He's the mainline speaker. So that's something super exciting for us. Just to give a taste to you guys. There's a lot high level, but just to give a taste of the type of marketing we're doing and partnerships we're building. We do intend, Gala Games, if you're familiar, we do intend and see that as a target for us. I think 30 billion market cap, all-time high. I think those type of numbers, well, maybe not, we won't match. I think that's a good target for us to have. And I think realistically, if we do it right, we follow our plan, we execute it, and work on this. With GameFi coming up as one of the big narratives, I think that we can capitalize on that. We can do it well, and we can really be, a project like that. We're working on cross-chain integration. One of the big, obviously, I can't say the name, but we're working closely with one of the big cross-chain supporters and purveyors of the technology. We're working very close with them to be basically one of the flagship products out using cross-chain. I'm talking about a multi-billion-dollar company here. So, you guys can guess at that until we can't announce anything officially. But we're working hand in hand with their developers to be a flagship product with our token and with our game. So if you want to look at the type of moves we're making and how this is going to be grown, and why this is a worthwhile team, a worthwhile project, a worthwhile investment. I think that hits it. I think we can cover a lot of the specifics of the tokenomics if you want. But Mike and Paul, is there anything you want to hit on that or expand on that I've hit so far, and then we can probably go into a little more about the project?
Yeah, I mean, what I would add, Josh, is as you know, as the marketing experience I've had in GameFi and a number of Web3 gaming products, is that the sell pressure that having an in-game token created, and it was relentless, it was irreversible, and it was consistent, and it was very difficult to battle. And so, I spent, I think, a lot of my time marketing Web3 games, basically coming up with ideas to create demand pressure for the token, because there was just this endless, constant sell pressure. If in the game, if the token was too easy to earn, people would just dump it because they knew it was too easy to earn. But if it was too difficult to earn, people would be less interested in the game. So what it attracted me to this project was that that there is no in-game token. Drift is not an in-game token. So we're insulating Drift from the game. Although if you hold Drift, I just saw a question up there. If you do hold Drift long term, you participate in game revenues. So there you go. Player one. If you want to participate in the pre-sale, hold on to the tokens long term, because you earn revenues from the game, from all of our games, our suite of games, of which we've got one at the start at the moment, Payout Pursuit. That's what attracted me. I know Mike has the doctor has some Web3 ethos stuff that appealed to him a lot.
And Michael, just before you get going, sorry, I've got a question, regarding the strategy there as well. I would like to ask, what was the decision making behind going with Ethereum EVM, and also what other chains are you looking at for in the future as well? Because I know our community, we've got a lot of different layer one fans, and I think they would like to have a little bit of perhaps early alpha to what chains perhaps may come in the future as well.
Yeah, so we, okay, from my picture behind me, you probably guessed the whole Maxi thing, right? So I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm a Bitcoin Maxi Plus. In other words, I believe that there's utility in a lot of other things as well, right? But my beloved Bitcoin will always be the number one. So don't take this as the wrong thing. So, big fan of DAGs. So I think we were looking into AVAX as one of those possible chains in the future, right? We kind of think it's really great. So we're looking at that. Again, everything that we look at is not guaranteed, because it's not only just about pre-selling it on the token, on getting, the pre-sale. That's one thing. It also how it integrates in the game itself, right? So, and how it integrates with all the other tokens. So there's things to think about. It's not just a simple like, oh, that's a great community, boom. There's a lot of other things in the background having to work together, which is why interoperability is one of those things that we're working on now as an industry, and it's not just an overnight thing. So AVAX, I think, is one of those things. There's potential for Arbitrum, and there's potential for obviously anything that's EVM is pretty quick and close, but it's not a guarantee. There are some things where there's no oracle that exists on that particular protocol or chain. So having no oracle means you have to start from scratch creating an oracle, which is time intensive, labor intensive, cost intensive, and no guarantee. So there's issues with that. So there's things that we're working on. I'd love to do a Solana, right? Those kind of things, obviously, right? But these are all down the road. None of these are right now. Yeah. Tomorrow, people are going to message me, can I buy it with, Solana, like I just mentioned it? No, you can't. This is all down the road that everyone's working on, so it's not right now. And we will definitely, even after we launch, we'll probably try to onboard different protocols. So
great answer, and it's it's a testament to your ambition as well. Already looking further down the road for the potentials of interoperability using different chains as well. We do have another question from Player One, which is, do I have to stake the tokens?
No. So that's one of the things I want to hit on. So when we looked at launching conditions and what is going to do well, we want to have incentive to participate in the pre-sale, obviously. So that's why I have a price structure that goes up per round, and that's why it's below the launching price. But we put some mitigating features in there so that we could also have buy pressure at launch. So one of those is you have the option to stake for Ethereum live. The rewards are accumulated from part of the pre-sale pool, so you immediately have a guaranteed 120% APY if you choose to stake. But for those who want to speculate, like, we totally get that. We understand, it takes both types to market make and to move a project. So, we just have the option if you want to claim that, like, right at launch, you just face a little an elevated tax for the first week, and then it goes down incrementally over the first week, where you drop down to the standard tax, and that's to encourage participation as broadly as we can. And the majority of people have elected to stake so far. So I think a lot of people have obviously confidence in us long term. But it's a month staking period, and then you get the guaranteed APY minimum, and then it starts accumulating in ETH from ETH or native in whatever chain's volume. So you potentially, I did the calculations. If we hit 100 million in volume, which in the first month with the right central exchanges and the right work, that's not unheard of. You're looking at an 86% return on your initial, which turns out to like 700 something percent APY. So you essentially could invest 1 ETH, withdraw 0.86 ETH, and at the end of the month still have all of your tokens in ETH worth from the launch. So that's kind of what we're looking for. Like, hey, we want to make it very attractive. We want to guarantee some kind of return. That's why we're pre-funding the pool, and then it goes forward. And that's the type of incentive we want to give people. It's practical. We can do it. It's sustainable. We know we can guarantee a minimum, and I think that's why a lot of people are electing to go for the staking option. But again, if you don't want to, or if you want to do, a lot of people do, one bag stake, one bag dynamic. You can do that from the same wallet. It just has to be separate purchases. So we have had a lot of people do that, come back in multiple rounds. Purchase different types each round. So those are some of the ways we think it helps everybody, because the early holders and you guys here who are buying in the pre-sale, you can have confidence. Hey, we thought about buy pressure at launch, and we did this to mitigate some of those concerns you usually get, like, the pre-sale is going to dump, et cetera, et cetera. Those type of things that are going to come up anyways. Now we have a real answer we can give as far as what did the team do, what kind of forethought went into this. The 25% tax that goes back into the ecosystem, that goes back into market making, that goes back into expansion. So it's a win-win. You sell, you get a nice profit. You're coming back to the ecosystem, and you hold your stake bag maybe. You only help yourself long term, and and you still we believe you'll walk out with something healthy if you're there to trade. So.
Brilliant. Well, thank you from Player One and from myself for that brilliant answer. What I will go into now as well. So regarding, we just spoke about the different options. You can stake your tokens. So how has the community responded to the ongoing Drift token pre-sale? And how does the community engagement impact the success of the project as well? How have we seen have people been going for the staking option? What has surprised you so far through this pre-sale?
So go ahead, Paul.
Okay, so I've actually been quite delighted by the fact that we started grassroots because we started with no budget. And the grassroots response has been really positive. The first round sold out inside of 2 hours. And we've got, we're still growing, right? We're a month old. I don't know how long. We're about a month in. First round sold out in 2 hours. We have a referral program with the ambassador program. There's a lot of interest in that. Staking, some people like to stake because they get 120% over 30 days, which is 10% at minimum. And some people don't want to stake. I think people have responded well to having a choice whether to stake or not. And obviously, you know, if you do multiple purchases, you can do both. I think our Telegram is quiet but quite considered. We're getting a lot of great questions from a lot of smart people who are asking a lot of challenging questions and interesting questions and throwing ideas out, stuff that we're not going to think of everything, right? I've actually been quite pleased with how the community initially has evolved and developed. We feel like we're growing sort of our own brand within a community that's essentially been there from the start. So I like I say, it's a good feel kind of community at the moment. I think everybody believes that when we say we're here for the long term, I like to say we're here for the long term, but we're impatient. And that's true. Gala Games is our North Star. We're here for the long term, and that's where we're headed. That's where we want to get to as a game studio, as a Web3 game studio. But we're also impatient. We want to make this work. We think 2024 is a good year to do it in GameFi. And I think people have responded really well to that. And that response, obviously, the amplification that you can forget, and I guess I'm putting my marketing hat on here, the amplification you get from an enthused community is you can't buy that kind of, you just can't buy that kind of enthusiasm. So yeah, from my experience, it's been really positive, and obviously community support is absolutely pivotal. And on that, I know, sorry, Mike, this probably is your point up, but I'll just throw it in because it's on my mind. One thing we want to point out, and it's in our white paper, everybody knows it, we got nothing. There's no team allocation of tokens. So I bought tokens. Mike bought tokens. Josh, the CEO, he bought tokens. We have to buy our own tokens. There's no hidden stash for us. It kind of annoyed me when they presented me with that idea, because I'm like, come on, man, where's my free tokens? But there's no team and there's no allocation of team tokens. And I think that's another thing to which people have responded well to. And I'm guessing, Doctor, you might have a couple of things to add.
Yeah, I mean, that was big for me to be involved, because how many projects are out there that have, a gigantic bag of team tokens that are waiting to dump on the rest of the community. And we are the rest of the community. We are, I can send you my
one of us.
Yeah, it's us, right? We are us, right? So, I want this to be a success because it cost me, a couple ETH to be involved myself, right? So, and we're all about, not only we want this to be a success because we put our names out there. We were doxxed from the beginning. Anybody can find me. You can look up my name on Cointelegraph. If you do find me, I like dark beer and cigars, so just keep that in mind. But I am available, right? But yeah, we're all around. We're here. So please, just keep that in mind. We're one of you. We're drifters as well. But what I really liked about it is, what I'm really interested in is, as you asked, what have I learned? I thought everyone was going to jump on staking immediately, only because, right? And because we're only allowing the first 20% of the whole pool to stake. So I figured that would be like, I'm getting in the first round, I'm going to stake immediately, and a lot of people, it's like 33%. So it's interesting, right? It's a little different than I thought, but that could all change in the next couple of years. I don't know, right? Different audiences might act differently, and like Josh said, I think some people, bought a bag for one and bought a bag. I don't know, right? So
yeah, I think that's a very solid way to go around it, because it gives you the speculative chance, and it also gives you the staking. You guys came onto my radar when I saw how quickly the pre-sale went out. Like you say, 2 hours, absolutely nuts. We're now as we can see here on the screen, almost at $820,000. Super impressive, and I know you've got a very, very strong community behind you, and I think it shows because you've got a super ambitious team. You're all doxed. You're willing to put your face to it, jump on stream, and you're putting a lot out there as well. So I expect big things from you guys. But what I would like to ask right now is we've got the ambassador scheme up on screen here. We have a lot of hungry members within our community and on crypto Twitter, always looking to help out to earn some money. Is the ambassador scheme still open for everyone to get involved in?
Yep.
And
Go
it
ahead.
is.
Paul,
So-
do you want to start?
Hold on. I just want to say one thing, if you don't mind, guys. So it is open to those people. But here's an interesting thing. So I don't know if anybody is, obviously, Paul is our marketing guy. If you've ever done marketing in any kind of thing, you have to figure out how much is it going to cost, to get some kind of return on that investment.
Yeah.
And, when we were talking about how we should go about it, we thought about it and we said, well, why not get the people, when you go to a movie and you recommend it to your friend, you don't, the movie doesn't send you $5, or £5, I should say, if we're talking to the people across the pond, right? It doesn't send you that, you just have to, you just give the movie, movie gives you a thank you. So marketing is rather expensive in the crypto world. So, they call up different crypto media companies. I won't say anybody's name, can cost a lot of money. So what we decided we were going to do is the influence program. In other words, you get a revenue share of what you bring in, which is actually, more efficient, a more efficient way of doing it. And if you actually think about it, is definitely more of a Web3 approach. Instead of giving it to some conglomerate corporation, let's give it to the people that are actually part of the community, right? So I just wanted to say that. But Josh or Paul, if you want to add.
Yeah, definitely. I think the relationship and what Influence is doing through the ambassador program. I mean, we all know that there's been a lot of projects that have referrals and stuff like this. But I think we have a unique way to, like, the call to action is immediate. Like, so one of your investors comes over today, they use your code TMG, but now they spend over 0.25 ETH. Well, now they start earning. They can activate their own code, and now they can go into their own network. So that's kind of like, I know that's what Mike explained. But that's kind of like the beauty. It's so seamless. That's why I think we differentiate a little. Like some of those names that are on there, you can kind of see on the screen, your screen right now. Sami, he's a good partner. CC Pro, they're a good partner, a good Discord community. But then, you have Paul up there. Obviously, he's working hard for marketing. But then, you have just community members, and they've been earning commission off what they've been doing. So they a lot of them, they obviously had to buy in, and now they're out there spreading the product. And that's I think that's something like really awesome. I think it's working how it was intended to do. And now you guys, those funds have come in and moved us to a point where we start expanding partnerships, marketing, listings, exchanges. We have the rest of the sale still open. Now we have decisions now that we didn't have before, being that, like, we may choose to close out some of the rounds on an IEO platform. Like those weren't possible until we got here with this momentum and traction from you guys, early holders. But all of the decisions we make are for the best of the product. We're all about, we set that tentative deadline for launch. The game V2, which blockchain integration, is coming out before the token intentionally, so people can see what they're getting. We can push hard and show that, and that's coming up. We're looking for middle of February, last week of February for that, and then the token was tentative, end of February, beginning of March. Now that depends on, again, these central exchanges. We're talking to some. These doors weren't open before. So we may, for strategic reasons, be like, hey, mid-March because of this exchange, but it's always going to be for a reason. It's going to be for the best of the product. And we haven't, we don't anticipate a lot of pushback because we know you guys investing, and you guys are coming in here know that, anything we're going to do is so that we can get to that 10 figure range or beyond, So that's what we're looking to do. And that's like the mentality here, guys. That's the beauty of how we started with grassroots. We have 1,000 holders across BNB, Ethereum is our lion's share, and then now Matic, and we're just going to keep growing. We need to, if we get to the ballpark of 2,000 holders at launch, I mean, there's already a base there, and then obviously we're going to keep moving forward and spending marketing money to get the interest and the excitement, to market make, to do the responsible things so that we make it out the gate, and then we just move up in levels that are feasible. I know a lot of your community probably follows, does a lot of analysis, like charts. So you got to understand, there's a lot of understanding there and what it takes to get out the gate successfully. We're doing all we can to do that. Dr. DeBone and others with more experience can talk a little bit about that. But I just want to emphasize that. Go ahead. Sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I think there's a really interesting component of social proofing, and when it comes to the ambassador program, because anybody who decides to become an ambassador and put their code in is obviously lending implicit support to the program, to Drift Studios among their community, right? And in a way, putting their reputations on the line. Obviously, there's a financial incentive to do that, and there's a financial reward for their community to then use that code. But yeah, the idea that someone uses someone's code and then becomes, invests enough to become a silver or bronze ambassador themselves, and then spread it among their own friends, family, community. It's lent another kind of layer to the way we've structured this raise, which I think is really interesting. And we'll see how it plays out in the end. But so far, it's been a really good experience, as well as it seems to have worked.
Brilliant. And what attracts me to methods like this and to Drift in general is going back to what Michael said. The ambassador scheme, it's a very organic way to grow new users. It helps push more content as well, and creates a more solid organic community. So I'm super keen on it. And while we're talking about the ambassador scheme here as well, guys, if you are looking to get involved with Drift, we do have a special code. So Drift have recently partnered with That Martini Guy, very big partnership. So I'm really excited to see more content from That Martini Guy. Hopefully we'll see some interviews with Jordan and the team as well, guys. So super excited, big partnership. But if you are after Drift, make sure to use 5% for 5% extra. Make sure to use code TMG just down here in the ambassador code. Here you can see I've put in TMG, guys. You have the staking options down here, or the claim for dynamic sell free structure. Lots, make sure to head over to the website, guys. I've got it in the description below as well. You can learn more about the coin utility and have a look. I think we're transitioned now over to some more questions from the group as well. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, guys. We have another question from Casper. We went over this earlier. So do you have to stake? If we just show you here, you've got the two options to go through. Super easy, great UX as well. We have all the links here. We have Joshua, Paul, Michael, and Sophie. All the links to their Twitter pages, LinkedIn, guys. Like I say, fully docs team. All the information is over there. We've got Player One has just bought in. Good luck to you, Player One. Thanks for supporting the team. We also have the roadmap down here. So I know we briefly touched upon the roadmap earlier in the interview, and with crypto everything is changing all the time. But you guys have set some targets for yourself with TGE March time. How was putting the roadmap together, and give some insight to running a crypto project? Are you having to pivot? Are you sticking to the plan? What has changed recently, and what are you looking forward to most out of the roadmap as well?
Well, first of all, getting those tick marks off I'm on the web developers. I'm on the web developers like crazy. Like, when I see it, I'm like, hey, tick marks. But that's a quick thing. But so yeah, we're obviously a little further in here. We've got we awarded our ambassadors last round. We opened up this round. And we're obviously starting our Web3 campaign more. We're here right now as part of that. And then we're working on Paul's out there actually in a tour right now with some guilds out in Asia. So he's doing a Southeast Asia tour. I think you might have mentioned that earlier. So we're working on those things that and then so looking at, we've been able to stick pretty close, honestly, to what we originally anticipated. Obviously, we didn't know the success we'd have with opening the pre-sale. I mean, it took us. Yeah. Honestly, we knew we put in work, but that took us a little bit by surprise. So we kind of were like, all right, well, now we got to put out these. We got to put out a timeline because we're ready and we know we're ready. So that was kind of, I think, the biggest flurry right there up front. And then now it's been just kind of identifying, hey, we're at a pretty critical mass. Like we got 1,000 holders. We need to expand and spend the marketing money. So that's what the phase we're in now. So the expectations are obviously it's gonna take a little longer to add in, but it's the consistent buys, is what matters, getting from the audiences. I mean, even now we're close to 10% a day, so 75,000 close to we've gotten in just from opening yesterday. And we just been doing the same thing. So a lot of those are repeat buyers. We had 100 new buyers. So that's the thing. Like, people, the expectation is like, hey, we keep moving forward. Like I mentioned, we are looking at some central exchange partnerships, because some of the concerns which are valid from the community are like, hey, when you start to slow down, what's the plan? Well, now the plan has always been, we need to get exposure, and that's via partnerships and, on central, because the central exchanges, the ones worth their salt, they market for you and they make sure that there's interest ahead of the product. So we're talking with those partners now. So that's why, there's some questions like, oh, what if you don't sell out? Well, what happens? Of course we have a contingency. Of course we have a soft cap, but that's not public right now, because we intend to do all we can in the time limit to get there. But there are, of course, those plans, like, the team isn't there just thinking that it's going to happen. It has to happen. If it doesn't happen, we don't have a plan. But I just want to share, like, hey, the next level of this type of thing is those collaborations, is pursuing the central exchanges, which we're in talks with it for, at least right now. We're close to a decision, so you'll see some material on that. Those are like what to look for. GameFi, again, that just kicked off. We'll be identifying, we've identified KOLs there we'd like to work with. Now we move into the phases of securing them and getting that content out. So I think Paul could probably hit a little more on that. But yeah, or definitely, any surprises or anything if you guys want to talk about. I think I covered most of it.
No, that was good, Josh. I mean, I'm gonna just like spill the beans here. I hate roadmaps because they either handcuff you, or they're manufactured and beyond any level of sensible ambition. So I always resist a roadmap. But I think the thing is, you got to have a plan. You got to be prepared to pivot, and those two things to me. So yeah, publishing a roadmap does put you. It can handcuff you a bit, like publicly, visibly. But we are prepared to pivot where we need to. But it looks like we're going. I mean, things seem to be going along what our roadmap actually is. So, which is great. I don't personally like more publishing them, but yeah, we have plans. We're prepared to pivot if we have to.
So I've just pulled up launched the app with the gameplay. We have a question here from Jerome Powell. Thank you, Jerome Powell, for joining the chat. the real one, I can assure you. So will there be controller integration for the gamers as well?
So
yes, go ahead, Josh.
So we're exploring that right now. I mean, not to give a generic answer, but like a lot is on the table. We're looking at killing V2. And V2 is just going to be web blockchain integration, moving through the cross chain. We're looking at killing that, really smashing that. But that being said, we have connections to partners that are in that space. And when the right time is there, we know where to move. I'll just say it that way. Obviously, it's a good idea. It will help. But that type of stuff doesn't really help unless you have the strong base, which is what we're really looking for V2. But there's a lot of stuff we want to do for it as far as expansion goes, and that is on the table as one of those things when we are mature enough to hit that.
Brilliant.
I would say if you ease up on the interest rates, Jerome, we'll work on the controller sooner than we otherwise would have. How about that?
I love the middle name.
I
love his middle name. That was great.
Oh my gosh, I love the levity. It's great.
Yeah, we're going to build and develop and get the game as good as we can.
Yeah.
The controller thing we've talked about it. Absolutely. It's on the, it's on the, I don't want to get too Oval Office about this, but all options are on the table kind of thing. We want to make the game as good. We want to make all of our products as good as they possibly can be and as quickly as we can. But, there's work behind all that sort of stuff. So, the focus is on smashing V2 at this stage.
Awesome. I've just pulled up your Twitter page here. Guys, if you would like to go follow Drift, please do. It's at the Drift token. There's going to be, if you're wanting the first bit of news about Drift, make sure to also join their Telegram group as well. Linked on Twitter here as well. Let me just pull up the @ here as well for everyone to see at the bottom there. But guys, where is the best place to reach out to you and get involved in the community?
Yeah, right now is Telegram. We've been there, but we're opening our Discord soon, and we're going to start migrating over there as we get to focus on GameFi marketing. We'll maintain both, obviously, but Discord lends to larger communities a little better, and it has been the direction most projects end up going. Anyway, we started on Telegram because we already had a strong network there, and it's a lot easier to maintain with a light presence. But we're at the point to where we are going to start moving into Discord, and then obviously we've been very organic with all of our growth. We're going to work out. There's going to be some collabs and some campaigns to grow our Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy that we got to where we did with what we've been doing, but we recognize that even some of these exchanges we got to grow a bit. So we're working on that part. Go ahead.
I just want to say something here. So we're moving into 2024, and you've probably heard that the crypto winter's over. It's in crypto spring. We're going to be in crypto summer soon, all this fun stuff, right? And believe me when I tell you that Drift is going to be one of many different things that you're going to see come across, different launch pads and all this other kind of stuff. But there's a slightly different thing here. We're open right now to everybody. We have the website, which is available to anybody who wants to go on there and buy it, right? Follow your own applicable laws of your jurisdiction, whatever, all that, the NFA stuff, right? Non-financial advice.
Yeah.
My point is, please do your due diligence on the team, no matter what project it is. Do your due diligence. Look at what's going on. Read the white paper. Play if they have something you can actually experiment with, like a game, like we do. Play the game. Ask the questions. Go into the Telegram. Bother the founders, bother the people that work there, do all of that that you possibly can for every single thing that you can, right? But one of the things that you have to understand is a lot of people will say, oh, look at my Twitter account. I got 50,000 followers, right? Great. Mm-hmm. A bot costs X amount of dollars, and that's how I can get 50,000 followers, right? So if you look right now, if you look at our Twitter page, you'll see 1,229 followers, but that's completely organic. We didn't
100%
people to buy it. Oh, and we have one more because we got a like right there.
Jerome Powell. Yeah, Jerome Powell just followed you.
All right.
Yeah.
So, point is that or when you hear the news, you see a new product somewhere being talked about. It's probably X amount too late or whatever. This is one of those projects where we have so many we've built up the steam before we even launch the token that we're kind of ahead. For instance, I'm going to say the thing we're talking at the Harvard Blockchain Conference, April 13th, right? So I'm going to be on stage like Josh said. There's not many projects that have pre-launch have been asked to come and talk at Harvard, right? So or any of those kind of things. So the point is that we have personal relationships with people across the whole industry. We're out there and about there, and as Paul likes to say, sex, dexes, and rock and roll. I stole his line. We like to be across the whole space. So point is, sometimes when you hear about a project, absolutely always do the due diligence. But maybe if you find out that you're early enough, maybe it's time just to I think Somi, my friend Somi, said it best, right? Some of these things are going to be lotto tickets. You have no idea, right?
Yeah,
lotto ticket in the air, and you don't know, and so it's not mortgage the house and sell a kidney, and none of that stuff, right?
That was 2020.
That was 2020. That's when you sell the kidney. We're out of the kidney thing, right? So no one's asking you to sell the baby and stuff, right? I like the Drift t-shirt. I know he got the Drift t-shirt first. Mine's in the mail. He got it too. Mine's in the mail. I can't even wear it yet. It's still in shipment. I'm kind of mad.
Maybe you can send some over to the Crypto Saving Expert team, and perhaps we can even put them on our merch store, guys. So let us know in the chat if you want to buy some Drift merch, guys. A lot of the audience here, they know me from our trading group for pre-sales, ICOs, IDOs. That was my bread and butter in the last bull run. And people are, often asking me, what do I look for in pre-sale projects? And I'm completely honest with them. I look at the team. I look at the fundamental analysis there, the utility in the coin and the team. Because like Michael said, pre-sales, often you throw money into 5 of them. 4 of them, will go to nothing, and then that one will do a 10x, and your profit from the rest of them. And what I have found in the past is you can look at the fancy websites, lots of followers that are often botted, but really what it comes down to is having a well experienced team and a variety of team. You guys are international, from all parts of the globe, and that really helps as well, tapping into these different communities. So that's something that I'd like to share with the community that really got my eyes focused on Drift there. I spoke to the team, I was speaking to them now, obviously very ambitious, as you guys can see. So this is something that I look for myself when investing in pre-sales. So always, guys, I'll pop up the banner in a second, but not financial advice. Do your own research. If you are looking to do your own research, head over to Crypto Saving Expert. We've got the article here, From Revs to Riches, the motor racing GameFi token drift. Really good read. Would recommend heading over to there. And also, guys, if you are in the CSE Plus Discord, please reach out to myself with any questions regarding drift. I have direct contact to the team here. So if you have any questions, I can likely put them across and answer them as well. So I think we can wrap up there for today. If you have any final comments to add, that would be great. And also, guys, any final questions, please fire away now. But I would also, I think this I would like to invite you guys back on in a few weeks' time as well, and hopefully I'm sure we'll have lots of progress there and some new things new alpha to drop on our community as well. So guys, this is not the last time that you will see the Drift team. This is going to be an ongoing partnership as well. So super excited for this. And we've got Jess just putting, we need more docs teams in the space. Completely agree. Some super alpha and player one. Nice one to me. Thank you very much, guys. But yeah, Drift, any final comments for the community, please?
Yeah, I would say thanks for having us. Thanks, guys, for listening, guys and girls out there. We appreciate it. We're on AMA tour. We like speaking because every time we do, we get new investments. We want the confidence. We appreciate it. Mike always has the good effects. But I'd say come over, check us out, get to know us. We'll be around. I think we put out a lot of why we have ambitious goals and why we have the ability to achieve them. So come on over, become part of it, and thanks for having us on. We'll be back soon, I'm sure. We'll keep sharing updates, and your call to action now is if you want to go over, hop in. If you got any questions, and then the last thing, if you have a good idea, like you heard about the product, you have a community in mind that you think would be a good collab, we're always open to that type of stuff. So through Ross or coming to Telegram. Reach out to us and let us know who they are, and set up the introduction if you can, and that's great. We're happy. We'll entertain anything that makes sense, and we're so happy to collaborate and help other projects, or have projects can help us now. And as we grow, we're happy to extend the favor. So just want to put that out there. So go ahead, Mike.
No, I 1000% agree. Please ask us a million questions in the if you go to the Telegram group, please ask us a million questions. Right? Ask us whatever you want to ask. We're about transparency, right? There's a lot of groups out there, a lot of what do you call it? Yeah, you like that? You like the things there?
I do.
We're all about that. We're all about the transparency part, right? There are game groups out there that they give you a thing, you don't really know what it does, and 6 months later it you gotta it detaches, then you got two things, and you don't know it. You can't make any economic sense. We're not like that at all. We want you to be upfront. This is how it works. This is how everything goes down. This is what we're planning to do in the next 6 months. We're all about that. So please come in and ask, hey, I don't understand how this works. Great. Every time you ask a question, we get better at explaining it. So We love that. So I appreciate it. So thank you. Please. Especially
Awesome.
Father Josh, because he got the shirt first. Still kind of upset about the shirt thing, but
My wife
Yeah,
my wife made this one, by the way. So
it looks awesome. It looks great.
I'm waiting in the mail for mine, guys. You know where I'm at. So send one over, and perhaps I'll let you guys on another stream as long as I get my jumper. So, but guys, thank you for your time. I know you're super busy right now. But also, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and use code TMG, all lowercase, for 5% extra GIF tokens, guys. Let's go. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Later. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.